Womanking with Viola Davis. Okay, this is my review, my recap, and I hope you guys maybe go see it for yourselves. But we saw the movie, and I think it was a good movie. I don't know if it told all the truth in the stories, like everybody's just like controversy that's going on right now. But Woman King um, was about this tribe that well, actually, it was about like this kingdom where these women were soldiers for this kingdom, and they could not have any husbands or children. They basically dedicated their life to the kingdom and fighting for the king. And Viola plays like the leader of these women warriors or soldiers, and she um, basically had been through being captured and also raped. And so she's a leader. She takes them, she leads the girls, she trains them, she teaches them to be great warriors, to focus how to fight. And the king that she is under is, he calls her general. And he basically whatever Viola tells him, he basically listens. Like that's his top soldier right there. Like Viola's the top soldier, his general. And so during the movie, they're taking in these girls and they're being trained. And it's this one girl that Viola is just like, she is kind of hard headed. She doesn't want to listen. And this girl is just very determined to become a soldier because she she was adopted, and her father had basically to save her life. I believe her father left them with Viola so she could actually go and so she wouldn't have to be worried about being captured and being raped and treated like that. So this story is about this also about slave trade and how trading bodies for a commodity, um, and also uh, tribes or Africans selling other Africans to Europe, and which all had to be around for slavery. So that it told a story about uh, trading bodies as a commodity. It told a story about how the kingdom was ran. So this basically the story turns out to be with Viola actually having a daughter when she after she was raped. She had a daughter, and she told her I think a second in command, I can't remember all the names, to actually take the baby and get rid of her. So the baby gave her, the lady took the baby to an orphanage. Now, lo and behold, this soldier that Viola remembers raping her, um, she just basically wants to get revenge. She'll never forget him. She even has, when she thinks about it, it's like her body goes into shock and she starts to have like, anxiety about it. So she had to actually meet up with him again. He came to her to her king to say that, you need to start trading people and yeah, basically need to start trading people, and you need to get up with what's basically, I guess, what was hip. People were trading people for commodities, and so he comes to the kingdom, and then she picks some girls to it has you thinking that she's picking girls to be traded or with this soldier that actually raped her. But what happens is she picks the girls, and she picks the new girl that is actually who she thinks is kind of stubborn. She picks her too, and then she picks like her top girls that's already soldiers to go with her. So they go over to do the trade, and Viola says comes and says, we do not trade people. When they met up at the, I guess, like where they do the trade, I forgot what it's called. They met up, and she was like, we do not trade people. So they actually killed some of this dude's soldiers, chopped off their head and had it in a basket. So we were thinking that she's bringing them a basket of something where they're gonna trade. And they basically begin to fight. So she gets to fight this man that raped her, but somehow she ends up losing. They have to come back again and fight again at a later time. But basically, it boils down to this girl that Viola. Um, it's almost in a way, it's like this girl does not listen. She is hard headed. Oh my, like as if like this girl is like really getting on Viola kind of nerves, right? And then she remembers a story of the baby, because they were the one at one point after they won a battle, she was looking at the little girl's scars, and then Viola asked her about this one scar on her arm, and the little girl was saying, "Yeah, my father says this is a mark of the devil." And Viola then realizes that that's her baby because she has this mark on the back of her arm. And it comes to a scene later where she is in I guess it's like the little bath or pool. I really love the look of the kingdom. It's like this red clay. But anyways, they're in this like areas where it's like a pool, I guess, where they bathe. And she's having a conversation with the girl, and she grabs her and cuts the scar on the back, and she actually put a shark tooth in the baby's skin. So I guess if one day she could find her, but that basically she did. She came back to her, and that's her daughter. So that was a great part of the story where Viola was raped, but she had a baby, but she still, you know, had kind of like a regret of leaving her just to be to be this general for this king. So at the end of the story, it just goes to where they're fighting another tribe who again is selling other Africans, and they end up going to war with them, and they end up getting separated. They lose a lot of their good soldiers, and then the daughter of Viola Davis is also missing. So she goes back to the kingdom after beat beat these this other tribe, but she goes back to her king and say, "I would like to go back and rescue the ones that was captured." And the king tells her no. So she's like, "Okay." He's like, "You will not. We're gonna have a celebration of our victory, and you will stay here with us." And Viola was like, "No, baby." That later on that night, she got a gear, got herself up, and she started to travel back to, again, this is like the trading post, I guess you want to call it, back to the trading post to see if she can find um, her daughter and see if she can rescue the rest of the soldiers that were captured. So they get back. They finally, Viola is actually jogging away from the kingdom, right? So I don't know how long it's taking her to get there, but she's jogging by foot. So all of a sudden, you see her tribe. And they also have men soldiers, but they're separated. The women soldiers are separated in the kingdom, and then the men soldiers separated in the kingdom. But lo and behold, as Viola's jogging, the men soldiers and the women soldiers catch up with her to go help her rescue the rest of the soldiers that were captured. So that was like a good part of the movie where they were like, okay, the king told him no, she left, that she's our general, we're gonna go help her. So that's what happened on that part. So they get back, and she has this big fight where she has to fight. I think his name was Oba or Obi. I can't remember the names, but again, the guy that raped her and that she fought earlier in the scene, she finally has her final battle with him, and she ultimately kills him, finds her daughter, and again, victory again for them. They went back and got the ones that were captured that were alive, and they had to go back to the kingdom after that. And well, I'm actually leaving a part out too where Viola's daughter is uh, kind of finds a friend that's from Europe, but his mother, he's like mixed. He's African and he's white, and I want to say he's kind of in love with Viola's daughter, but Viola's daughter, she's basically focused on being a woman soldier. She don't really have time for him. But there's a little part in there where he's in there too, and he has to actually try to help rescue her because he is friends with a slave trader, and he eventually has to turn his back on him and help rescue her because when they were captured, Viola's daughter, they were going to sell her. Basically, they put her on the block to be sold. And he actually came out to his slave trader friend to say, "Hey, what are you doing?" Trying to prevent her from being sold. And that's the part when Viola's daughter and the other soldiers that were captured decide to, that was a distraction to try to get away from being sold. So this fight breaks out. People get shot and killed. The traders are being shot and killed, and somehow the guy, which his name is Malik, he, which is the guy that is African and white, he is actually the one that saves her because he has to buy her. And so again, going back to when Viola and the guys were, the other soldiers were coming to rescue them. By the time they got there, again, that Viola had to fight with the rapist soldier dude that got her pregnant probably, and she once they got there, it was on and popping. They were just they basically opened up the gate that was holding all the Africans that were going to be traded, and then because the soldiers were in there with them too, and then I hate that I keep saying, and then so basically after that, and so basically I'm tired of saying that too. Um, the slave traders, yeah, so they released the everybody that was captive, and then they start giving them weapons to fight, and then they start going against the slave traders and beating them down, which was a great part to watch. But so eventually they beat everybody down. They burn the slave trade or the trading post. They burn it down, and then they go back to the kingdom where they're from, and they have to go back to the king. So Viola walks straight into the kingdom, goes straight to the king's throne, with her knife in her hands, um, presenting it to him. And you think he's going to do something horrible, like maybe kill her for not listening to him, or I don't know, just kick her out of the kingdom altogether. But he does not. He says, like, victory, this is my general, and da 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 da. And then that's where he names her Woman King. So she sits right beside him, and she becomes the Woman King, even though she disobeyed him. And so, but and then what I do like about this, the kingdom was actually trying to get out of selling people, because the king before him was his brother or whatever, and he actually sold their mother into slave, being a slave. So the brother before him, the king that is there now, he did not want to sell people. He did not want to sell his people. He wanted to empower his people. He wanted to, you know, his people to be better off, and he wanted to take care of his people basically. And that was like the beauty of the story. Now I know there's some controversy about the violence and how these women were very violent and they killed other black people, but I really feel like at the end of the day that wrong is wrong, you know? It's wrong for us to kill our own people. Yes, that's very wrong. But at the end of the day, you have to stand up for what's right and what's wrong. And if they're wrong for selling other people, then what case, what would you do? What can you do if they're actually selling other people and you're against selling your people? So that's my take on that. I do not know the actual real story. That's what I probably will make another video after I research myself. But I just saw the movie last night, so I didn't want to lose it. So that's my spiel on Woman King. This video probably is way too long, but it was a good movie for me. We were kind of late when we got there, so it's probably I'm probably missing a part in the beginning. But the last part is like this palm oil. So instead of selling people, he wanted to sell um, palm oil at the trading post, and that's what that kingdom was focused on. So they were that's basically what he was saying. Like that was his thing. We're gonna sell palm oil. We're not selling people. We just have to get our little factory or whatever making this palm oil, and we will be successful off of that, not making money off of bodies. So that's it. Go check out Woman King for yourself. Thanks for watching and listening.